In this video session, let us understand what are the factors that are affecting the biogas generation. The factors affecting and actually what are the problems that are involved in the biogas production are: first one is the raw material, influent solid content, loading, seeding, pH, temperature, toxic materials, stirring, that is intimate contact, and retention time. Let us understand one by one what are their effects. Raw materials. Different problems are involved with each of the waste with regard to the collection, transportation, processing, storage, residue utilization, and ultimate use. This means the waste are not of the same kind. It may be municipal waste, it may be domestic waste, it may be waste from the hotels, right? And this the main problem comes is the collection. How to collect this one, how to transport, and what is the way to process, and after processing, what is to be done with the residue, right? All these factors has to be dealt effectively. The residue from the agriculture sector, such as a spent straw, hay, cane trash, corn and plant stubble, bagasse, need to be shredded in order to facilitate their flow into the digester reactor as well as to increase the efficiency of the bacterial action. If the sugar cane, after removing the sugar cane, it is having the calorific value, but unless and otherwise it is dried up, it has been choked, will not get the efficient combustion, or the combustion efficiency cannot be improved. So that is where the digester reactors has to be very efficient to take this raw material in a proper manner. The influent solid content. What does it mean? The influent solid content is the production of biogas is inefficient if the fermentation material are too dilute or too concentrated, resulting in low biogas production and insufficient fermentation activity respectively. Hence, a solid content about 10 to 15% slurry can yield better gas production results. So the experience has shown that the raw material, that is either domestic or poultry wastes, generally it should be 1:1. Means if I'm having 100 kg of the waste, then I have to use 100 kg of water. Of course, new trials with a different are going in the research lab, but in general, it is the ratio is 1:1. Mean to say, if the raw material is used, the same quantity of the raw material can be water can be used. Next important factor is loading. Here, the size of the digester depends upon the loading, which is determined by influent solid content, retention time, and digester temperature. Optimum loading rates vary with the different digester and their sites of location. Higher loading rate have been used when an ambient temperature is high. In practice, the loading rate should be an expression of either weight of the total volatile solid, that is TVS, added per day per unit volume of digester, or the weight of the TVS added per day per unit weight of TVS in the digester. The next important factor, that is seeding. What is meant by seeding? See, even though the bacteria required for the acid formation and methane formation are present in the slurry, they are very less in number. There are not enough. Hence, for the fast and increasing number of the gas, that is the methane, we have to add some extra agent to the raw material or to the inlet, so that our gas formation will be faster. Hence, to increase the methane former number by artificially seeding. And what is that seeding means? Here you can use certain material which increases its formation. For example, we can add lime, we can add urea, even if I'm using the digester, in between the cow dung can be used, right, to increase the buffering action. If the digester accumulate volatile acid as a result of overloading, the situation be remedied by reseeding, right? So lime or alkali are generally used. Even some type of leaves can be used to increase or fasten, like what we call catalyst in a chemical reaction. So here these material, lime or urea, are fasten the formation of a methane gas. The next factor is pH. Low pH inhibites the growth of methanogen bacteria, and gas generation is often result overloading. A successful pH range for anaerobic digestion is 6.8 to 8. Efficient digestion occurs at a pH near neutrality. So, mean to say, pH scale, the neutral is at a 7. A slightly alkaline state is an indication that pH fluctuations are too drastic. Low pH may be remedied by dilution or by adding of a lime. Here we are going to see what is the effect of temperature on bacterial activity. As it is very clear from the chart, at this region the bacterial activity will be very fast. Mean to say, at the temperature around 35 to between 42, right? The reaction of the bacteria will be very fast. Less than 20 degree, less than 10 degree, it will going to cease, and more than 60 degree, that also not effective. So one can think about having a temperature between 35 to 42 degree. This is a not only in the case of this cow dung, or in the case of biomass, even when we are changing the milk into curd, if we are bringing the milk up to 100 degree temperature, will not get the curd of that viscosity, or will not get a fine turned curd. But if you are bringing the milk temperature around, say, 40 degree, and you are changing to curd, then the bacteria will not die, and you will get a very good curd. So this is a holds good even for other bacterial activity in the bakery. So the methane bacterial produces a significant amount of the gas at the temperature of 35 to 38 degree. So we have seen from the graph. So at this range, the methane bacterial will be very fast. If the temperature drops at 20 degree and at 10 degree, it going to ceases. The two different significant temperature zones is in a anaerobic digestion. The two type of microorganism, mesophilic and thermophilic bacteria, are responsible for digestion of two temperature ranges. The optimum temperature for mesophilic bacteria is 35 degrees centigrade, and for thermophilic it is a 55 degrees centigrade. So in between that, say 35 to 45 degree will be the bacterial activity will be faster, and the gas generation, that is methane, will be good enough. The next property which affect is nutrients. The maintenance of optimum microbiological activity in the digester is crucial to gas generation, and consequently is related to the nutrient availability. The major nutrient required by the bacteria in the digester are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus and sulfur. Two of the most important nutrients are carbon and nitrogen, and a critical factor for the material choice is carbon to nitrogen ratio, that is generally referred as CN ratio. The domestic sewage and animal and poultry waste are example for nitrogen rich material. On the other hand, the nitrogen poor material are green grass, corn stubble, or rich in carbohydrate substance that are essential for the gas production. So the night soil, or the what is human waste, is rich in phosphorus. Excess availability of the nitrogen leads to the formation of ammonia, the concentration of which inhibits further growth. The next factor that affects is the toxic materials. The digester slurry, if allowed to remain in the digester beyond a certain time, becomes toxic to the microorganism and might cause fall in fermentation rate. Common toxic substances are the soluble salt of copper, zinc, nickel, mercury and chromium. On the other hand, salt of sodium, potassium, calcium and magnesium may be stimulatory or toxic in action. Pesticide and synthetic detergent may also troublesome to the process. So using too much pesticides are also going to affect the biogas generation. The next important factor that affect the biogas generation is stirring or intimate contact. Bacteria are microscopic organisms and hence limited research rich to obtain their food. When solid material not well shredded are present in the digester, gas generation may be very less compared to uh, otherwise if it is done in a pasted form, or if it is taken into mixture and has a input. In time, the scum hardens, distributing the digestion process and causing stratification. Therefore, in order to ensure maximum efficiency it is essential that they are intimately mixed with the food rate and reaction. So in this case, there is a mechanical stirrer are used. You can have a pedal right at the bottom, and it can be done mechanically by once in a 2 hours, and that especially during the night time. Why? Because in the night time the bacterial activity or reproduction of bacteria are very high. Keeping that in mind, the stirring action, if done during the night time, right, the gas formation will be very high because it is a period for the bacteria to reproduce. The next factor or the effect of mixing and stir are the the uh, distribution of microorganism will be uniform, and the three important factors that are going to seen is a maintaining the uniform substrate concentration, temperature and other factors, minimize the formation of scum and surface, and prevent the deposition of solid at the bottom. Last one is a retention time. So the main problem of modern biogas plant is their retention time, right? Because the biogas retention time is very high, and people, because of this one, they don't prefer to go for a biogas, and always try to find the alternative. But many research work by using the different combination, the retention time has been considerably reduced. The period of retention for the material of the biogas generation inside the digester is known as retention period. The factors such as temperature, dilution, loading rate, etc. influence retention time. As high temperature biodigestion occur faster, hence reduction time requirement. A normal period for the digestion of dung would be 2 to 4 weeks. So the factor affecting the biodigestion, if you see from the graph, it is a very clear at this region, right? The biodigestion so will be optimal ratio, optimal range. The time duration for which slurry remains in the plant is the retention time. It is the time available for a biodigestion to take place. The chart here shows what are the retention time for different raw material. If it is a cow dung, it is a 50-day time. Poultry, it is a 20 days. Night soil, it is 30 days. Rice straw, it is 33. And sugar cane, it is 43. And if you are using the some water plants, right, it requires around 46 days. So this gives an idea why the biogas generation is not continuous.